Welcome to MindShareTV. I'm your host, Robert Martellacci, publisher of the MindShare Learning Report and founder and CEO of MindShare Learning. Today, we're excited to give you a sneak peek into the upcoming Canadian EdTech Summit Teacher STEM AI Symposium and the STAO Conference. We're thrilled to be partnered with STAO this year, and I'm joined by two special guests, Nathalie Rudner, who is the Executive Director of the Science Teachers Association of Ontario, and Ritu Jhaveri, who is the member of the board and also part of a startup we're going to talk a little bit about. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend with your families.
Thank you, Robert.
We did. Thank you. Thanks, Rob, for having us.
My pleasure. And it was quite fortuitous that we connected, given the moment in time that we're in with STEM in the mainstream now. It came of age, and AI is on the horizon. And Dr. Hinton, who won a Nobel Prize, Professor Emeritus from the University of Toronto, incidentally, where we're hosting the Canadian EdTech Summit at the Scarborough campus, October 31st to November 2nd. He shared in an interview, that this moment in time is reminiscent of the Industrial Revolution. And so it just puts it firmly in the game, is that it's something we can't ignore. And the train's left the station. It's not going back. It took a long time for STEM to come of age. I remember when it became popular, the acronym in the US. But for your organization, you've been at this a very long time. You have a conference, the STAO conference, which I've enjoyed attending. I met one of the astronauts that's going to space there about 4 years ago. It was such an honor. Talk to me a little bit, Nathalie, about the STAO conference and what's in store and the dates.
Thank you, Robert. Our STAO conference, we're back in person after 4 years, since sort of before COVID.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We're very excited about this. STAO Ignites is the name of the conference this year, Sparking Innovative and Inclusive Science Teaching. And the theme for this year's conference really came about from the fact that we have a cohort of teachers who really went through teacher education through COVID, and so haven't really had maybe the same experience as a lot of our experienced teachers in attending a conference and having that opportunity to network in person. So we're bringing together, we're hoping, around 300 educators and pre-service students from Ontario to a fantastic one-day event on November the 13th that's covering some really key areas in education today, culturally responsive and relevant pedagogy and equity in the science classroom, the grade 9 D-Stream Science, which everyone knows was newly released in 23, I think, and looking at some alternative approaches like design thinking, use of AI and coding in the classroom, as well as, the ever-present safety in the classroom and how do we keep our kids safe when we're doing hands-on scientific investigation. So really excited to bring that together. Very, very excited because today the program is going to be launched later this evening with all of the details of our fantastic presentations. Some of the same partners that you have at the EdTech Summit. So we're really, really excited to have them with us as well. And so registration is open. We have an early bird price for everybody until October the 21st. We've expanded it.
Fantastic.
Extended it so that people had a chance to see the program before signing up.
Well, STEM spans the curriculum now. It's not just one course. It applies to cross-curricular courses as well. And the evolution of STEM is remarkable. And kudos to CanCode. The Canadian government had that CanCode initiative. Let's talk a little bit about the evolution and the importance of STEM across the curriculum and the impact. Sorry, how many years for the STAO conference?
Oh, we've been, I would say 30 plus. The STAO conference has been around since I began teaching over 20 years ago. So it's been around for many, many years.
Amazing, amazing. Ritu, did you want to chime in and talk about your involvement with the board?
Absolutely. So I'm not part of the board. I'm part of their voluntary management committee.
Right.
Fairly new at STAO, but even before that, I've heard of the incredible work that STAO has put in over all these years, and so proud to be a part of a little part of the big STAO. And as Nathalie, I totally echo her thoughts. We're so happy that the in-person conference is here, the one-day conference, and we're really looking forward to having everyone there.
Fantastic. And so we've got two cutting edge conferences that are taking place. And it takes a village. It takes a village to raise a child today, and community and building community. Talk to me about the importance of sharing and learning through a learning community like STAO, like attending we recognize that teacher release time is very difficult to get. So hence we held this teacher symposium that we're hosting on a Saturday as part of a larger conference, the Canadian EdTech Summit. Talk to me about the evolution of the role of the teacher and what it's like to be in the classroom today and the impact, right? It's an incredible impact that teachers have made. We support the First Robotics Team 1324 here and the importance of STEM. It's a new literacy, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think it's an exciting time to be a teacher. It's also an overwhelming time to be a teacher with all the changes that are happening. So I think it speaks to the importance of events like the EdTech Summit, like the STAO conference, in allowing our teachers to access the expertise. One of the challenges I think that teachers face today is that the technology is changing so rapidly that we can't keep up. They just don't have the time. There's not enough hours in the day, even for those of us that are still not in the classroom. Keeping up with the technology, every day there's something new coming out, and what's the impact going to be? And there's that apprehension that comes with any new technology, or particularly in the STEM world. And I'm thinking really about the whole AI issue and being in science education in the last 2-3 years, the changes in the students' abilities to have access to AI, the teachers' ability to have access to AI to develop lessons, to find materials, and students relying on it maybe not in the most appropriate way. So as a teacher, how do you navigate that new landscape and find how it can be used as a tool to still promote the things that we need to promote as teachers, still promote the critical thinking, the creative thinking, the ability to ask questions, the ability to analyze for bias and misinformation, and understand all of those skills that are going to be the ones that they need. We know the tools change rapidly. The technology that's available today, or the particular program or coding platform, won't be necessarily the one that students will use in 2-3 years. It might not even be the one they use in 6 months from now. But what are those skills, and how can we teach those skills with the tools we currently have to allow them to encounter and do anything with any tool that comes across their desk in the future, or that they encounter. So I think that's the big challenge for teachers today, and speaks to the importance of a community where we can connect with experts in the field. And I think that's what, looking at the schedule for the EdTech Summit, it's really about looking at who are the experts that you're bringing to our teachers, that we can bring our teachers to come and see. That's really important.
Well said. Ritu.
Yes, I'd like to add to that. I mean, being a former teacher and a school principal, I completely agree with what Nathalie said. I think a lot of times, it's not just that COVID went by. A lot of times we just get so busy as educators, managing our day-to-day school affairs. We find it a little difficult and challenging to keep up with what's going on outside. So the conference like STAO and EdTech Summit, they have an incredible lineup of all these technologies, be it AI or all the conversations happening and discussions happening there. They're so important for us educators to know of, just to keep us updated, and to know that. And again, we all know technology is being used in the classrooms a lot more than it was in the past 5 years. So it's always good to know of all these options available and to keep learning.
Absolutely. talk to me about the importance of partnership and the partnership that we forged as part of this upcoming conference, and we're grateful for that. Talk to me about your perspective on that and how important it is to have organizations like the Canadian government, like First Robotics, and all those, Let's Talk Science and Logix and MindShare and STAO. We're all in this together. Nathalie.
Yeah, I think you said it earlier. It takes a village, and it really does. I think, we're a small organization, but there are hundreds, there's dozens of organizations that are all sort of working towards the same thing. So I see us as part of a really large community, and we can't do it without the partnership. Our goal is to bring the best and to promote excellence for STEM education, for innovation in the classroom. And we can't profess to be experts. So we know there are experts out there. So the value of a partnership is really being able to connect with those experts, leverage their expertise, leverage their resources, and be able to let everybody know. And that's what STAO really likes to do and wants to do, is to be able to let our teachers and our membership know what is available to them, because there are fantastic resources, fantastic opportunities from professional development, training that's offered by some of our partners that's really, really important for our teachers to know about. And for STAO, it brings, it helps us because it strengthens us in terms of we're continuously learning. We're looking for how we can support in our area of expertise, which is, supporting teachers in professional development, making accessible communication, all of those different pieces. So really, really important to have those partnerships. I think, it would be a very sad world if we didn't have them, because, I think if anything, we need more of this, because there's so much out there. And again, for teachers trying to find it and connect. So having those partnerships allows us to bring it all together for our teachers and our members.
Amazing. Well said. Ritu.
Yes. I completely echo with what Nathalie said. As teachers, when we're working in schools, we always work in a team, and that's when most work gets done. And it really saddens me that there are so many organizations doing such great work, but we need more of these partnerships, because a lot of times, like I was talking to a few teachers, telling them about who knew about the EdTech Summit, they had no idea about STAO. And I was talking to another bunch of teachers who knew about STAO, had no idea about the EdTech Summit. So I think these partnerships are so great to get all the teachers involved. And as you know, the teachers need to know that all this help is available, all this support is available. But I think just bridging the gap between the available support to the audience is really important. And these partnerships are doing a great job with that.
Well said. Now, of course, all this learning involves students as well. And we have students we have a student panel. We had a couple of co-op students here from the Peel Board and Dufferin Peel who are going to be speaking. Career pathways. It's never been a more exciting time to be immersed in STEM and some of the fascinating career opportunities these kids are pursuing because of their expertise that they gain and laid the foundation while they were in K-12 to pursue engineering. Two of them are in engineering at the University of Waterloo, and we've had alumni here from First Robotics who work for Apple, who work with Tesla, who work with Google. Talk to me about those career pathways and the importance of being part of this new journey and evolution of learning.
Well, I think we don't know the future, but we know that the future is rapidly changing, and we know that kids need to be, and students need to be able to have the skills. And when I think again back to those transferable skills, those are the ones that we really need to provide our students with. And when we talk about STEM careers, I don't think that, I know growing up when I was in school, we didn't talk about STEM being, there was science and there was engineering. But STEM as an essential skill, like that STEM literacy that students need to be successful. I mean, everybody carries a computer in their pocket right now or on their wrist, or, so it's such an integral part of who students are, what they do, how they do things, that whatever field they're going to go into, there's very, very few that are not going to use some form of technology or some form of STEM skills that they need. And so I think, and I'm going to pass this over to Ritu, because I know she does a lot with the careers in STEM.
Right. That's a good segue.
So I'm going to pass it over to her to sort of further on that.
Right. And it's about multi-literacies, isn't it? And you nailed it with the skills, right? Because we don't know what the future has in store. And so having those essential skills, if you will, as you move on from K-12 to higher ed, I often hear of a skills gap between K-12 and higher ed or post-secondary. And I think STEM is essential for every student, not just, I want to pursue science, so I'm going to do STEM, but it should be every student has exposure to those problem-solving skills, real-world experiences. We're surrounded by STEM every day. I got an electric car, and I've got to deal with the installation of a home charging station. So I'm problem solving, I'm reading about it, I'm learning about it. There's some subsidies out there, and there's different companies so that's STEM related, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That growth mindset, right, is so critical.
Absolutely.
So kudos to you for both embracing the growth mindset. But Ritu, talk to us about the career pathways and your pivot that you made, and you're going to be pitching your startup at the Canadian EdTech Summit.
I am. Thanks, Rob, for that opportunity. And I think I just want to begin by saying that we no longer live in a time and space where skills development is an option, where learning STEM or about STEM is an option. So I didn't grow up, taking science as a career. I went into teaching. However, right now, all our students, they need to know enough about STEM to make those right career choices. And as I mentioned, I used to be a former school teacher and a school principal, and couple of years ago, I made that pivot, and with a few other partners, we started this company called D-School. And all we do is we close the skill gap. We close the skill gap in middle and high school students by doing only one thing. We connect them to real world scientists. And these scientists are actual scientists working in different emerging technologies, which, as we know, are changing really fast. So what we do is we bring these technologies in very easy manner, in easy program forms into the classrooms. And our purpose is not just to inspire these students that, hey, look at these incredible things happening around you. And you know what? You can be a part of this, or you can go ahead after your grade 12 and grow this. But also to make them aware, because I remember I grew up in Mumbai, and my co-founder grew up in Toronto. We shared the same story. We're two women in mid-30s, but we didn't have that opportunity or that awareness back in our times about all these STEM careers existing. So that's what we're doing at D-School. And yes, extremely excited to share more at the pitching competition.
Fantastic. Well, with that, it's coming to the end of our conversation and our show today, as we all are busy people and need to get back to business. But grateful for your time today and sharing insights around the future of STEM and why it's important to be part of this community. Talk to me about your final thoughts. Any final thoughts to share, Nathalie, as we prepare to wrap up?
I'm really looking forward to participating in the Teacher Symposium and being there to meet the participating teachers and share a little bit more about STAO, but also just to learn. And I think that's, anytime we go to a conference like this, I think for me, it's about learning and knowing, looking for opportunities for how can we bring this back to our members, and how can we, work together to sort of future events. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited about the schedule that you have for the teachers that day. Some great coding and AI workshops and hands-on workshops for them. Lots of really cool things to check out. So really just, I think my last message is, I invite everybody who's got an interest in science education, who's in a classroom, who's dealing with students, to check out the schedule, both of the EdTech Summit, but also the STAO Ignites schedule, and look for your opportunity to come out and do some professional learning and enjoy yourself and have some fun with it.
Well said. Grateful for our partnership, Nathalie, and thank you again for that. Ritu, final thoughts.
My final thoughts would be both the EdTech Summit as well as the STAO event. I just want to say, especially to teachers, fellow teachers, it's not just a chance to network within this vast EdTech community. I think it's also an incredible opportunity for teachers to learn about the latest developments that are happening in EdTech and STEM. And I think they really would help them to continue staying at the forefront of these fields. The summit also features really a cool lineup of speakers who I'm very excited to listen to, especially the one hosted by Canva for Education. I love Canva, I've been using it for years. And I know so have all the other teachers. And there are so many such incredible speakers and trainings coming up at both the events. So I invite all the teachers and educators to take advantage and see us there. That's all.
Well, with that, thank you so much again for your time, Nathalie and Ritu.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Robert.
you very much.
It was our pleasure.
That was Nathalie Rudner and Ritu Jhaveri. And my name is Robert Martellacci, the Mindshare Learning Report. Be sure to check out www.mindshare.learning to get your latest issue. Be sure to register for the upcoming Canadian EdTech Summit, October 31st to November 2nd, and the STEM Symposium being on the Saturday. It's only $49 for teachers. We wanted to make it really accessible and reasonably priced. And don't forget to check out and register for the STAO Ignites 2024 at Brock University. And that date is November the 13th, lucky 13th. I was born on the 13th, so I think it's lucky. Well, until next time, stay healthy, stay safe, and keep the learning curve steep.